What's up, everyone? What's up, YouTube? Thought I share this informative information to anyone that doesn't know of this idea or this whole process. And sure, there's a lot of people that into gardening that know. And as you can see right now, is we're in winter, so a lot of the plants, as you can see, died off. So this is a tiny garden bed area that I grow some vegetable. Mostly recently I've been growing callaloo, so if anybody know Jamaican callaloo, at least that's where I brought it from, but that's not the only place that it grows. Callaloo grow all over the world, but I brought these seeds from Jamaica. But so yeah, this is a garden bed that I grow vegetable, so if you don't know this, something unique, and a lot of people might find this interesting. So if you do, share your thoughts, also subscribe to my channel. Bless up, that's always a great encouragement. So basically, as I expressed, that this is just a garden bed, and as you can see, these are died off vegetables, that I haven't pulled up from the bed, and that's where I'm gonna get. That's the main reason I didn't pull them up, because I grow organic, so this soil is probably more asleep right now. A lot of the microbes and the living organism, should say, like anything that's living in the soil more likely would go a bit deeper. But I only grow organic, and I use in compost, that I make, homemade compost. And even like these leaves right here, I don't rake them for my garden. This is all free compost, this is all free manure, that Mother Nature give to me for free. So that's another thing as well, that some people rake and get rid of leaf in the fall. Even in your lawn, it's a great thing for your lawn, it's fertilizer. A lot of folks doesn't like to see that mess, so they get rid of that, all that. That's so much that you're getting rid of that could feed the environment, and could feed the soil, and also a lot of living. Because I guarantee you right now, if you move this around, you're gonna see a lot of living things underneath the surface. Any living insect, creature. But it's pretty cold, and recently we had some snow fall. It just recently got we got a little melt. So you can see there's a little bug thing, insect. Oh, it's on my finger actually. It's kind of hard to see, but it came off the dry stem and went on my finger. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of living thing underneath the soil, and saving the leaves, saving that extra mess, even though you kind of look untidy in the yard or wherever, in the lawn. It does help a lot of living things survive over the winter. So at the end of it, anything that was there will not disturb it anyway. But you feed the soil, all the microbes, all that extra layer help protect the soil. And for those who grow organic, it's a great way to preserve your soil. Keep your soil more moist and protected from all the winter freeze and element as well. That a great mulch. But get back to these vegetable here. These vegetable stalks, as you can see. If I can they're kind of slippery and kind of already mulching. You can see I'm trying to pull. So let me just wrap my hand around it. But man, these callaloo, they don't play with them, you know, they go deep. So anyway, so see, I got one to pull. You know, deep that tiny root went on, and that's just some breaking off, as you can see. So there's a lot more that went down in the soil. So anyway, something like this, look how deep this went. All that extra root, which is all nutrients, you know, within the plant itself. Callaloo contains so much nutrients. So imagine leaving this down into the soil, you know. But the whole idea is that you don't pull up, you don't take out all that extra vegetable. So I would just come my scissors and cut. As you can see, you know, this callaloo is a crazy plant, you know, as I expressed in previous video I shared with callaloo. For example, check this out. You know, there's not much seed in that one, but let me find a good stem here. Okay, here is one. My hand is kind of dirty anyway, but as you can see, all those extra grains, that's all seed. Those black grain you can look at right there. You know, that's seed. So I don't plant callaloo in this section for like few years now, you know. So go back to here, you know, this whole process, you basically leave all of this extra body root, you know, root ball of the plant and the root, as in the one I just pulled up earlier. Where is it? I don't even I guess I could pull up another one. But yeah, when you pull it up, you disturb the soil, you disturb the microbes. You know, imagine if I should pull all of these up out of the soil, how much in this garden bed that I would disturb, you know. So for that reason I don't do it. And wherever you're growing, a big garden space, raised bed, however, you can do the same. You know, these can always go back into compost, but as I expressed, these things are very invasive, and I wouldn't want to be putting this section in my compost. As you can see again, all that seed, that's all mature seed, you know, right there. Blow it so you can see, yeah, that's all callaloo seed. How healthy that one is right there, you know. So I could toss them back here because I know they already infest this area, and you know, that's why early spring there's like this whole green bed of, you know, young callaloo coming up in this area. This season I'm planning to thin it out a bit and get rid of some of it, in the sense that I'm gonna eat it early as microgreens before they get too big, because it does get too overcrowded, and then the veg doesn't do as, you know, the best as they should. You know, they get too crowded, and some of it get too tall and skinny too quick, you know, too tall and lanky and fragile. So we don't want that, you know. But if you can come and see what I'm expressing, you know, all this is just callaloo seed, you know, most loaded in this. Look at that, how healthy this section is. So as I do as I cut these down, I'm definitely gonna extract some of these extra callaloo flora that contain the seeds, you know, so it also doesn't contaminate around the yard, or because, man, this thing grow everywhere if the seed fall, you know. So, and that's why I don't want to put it in my compost bin, because If the compost doesn't get hot enough to kill these seed, you're just gonna have callaloo growing everywhere and every spot and nick and corner that you put your compost. Even in indoor, pots, you might be doing, you would be have callaloo growing. But yeah, the whole unique process is in this, that you don't disturb the microbes on the soil. Get to live as it is in a living soil. So a lot of the good insect are just the good microbes and living organism that's in the soil will remain in place. You're not gonna be disturbing them while you're doing this. And one of the great things you're doing as well is that you're feeding back the soil all these nutrients that's gonna come from this extra plant that is gonna rot. So it's a win-win. So I'm getting the nutrients from the leaves, and I'm getting the nutrients from this callaloo, which then turn around and feed the next callaloo for the next generation. And these things are pretty tough. Good thing my scissors is handling it enough. But yeah, I'm gonna skip through when I finish and get myself a decent amount of seed. I have so much inside already in boxes, so I really don't want, and that's the reason at the end of fall I didn't really came through and cut it all already. As far as I could have done this process earlier in fall. Now it's literally winter, to say it's in January, early January. So, but yeah, that's what already getting cleaned up, ready for spring. Well, yeah, all this extra is just gonna rot and decompose back to the soil. Instead of me pulling up this thing which is so deep down in the soil. It's just feeding the soil. All that extra plant matter is just gonna feed your earthworm, all your worm for worm casting. And this garden bed is loaded with them. If it was spring, they would come to the surface. I would dig my hand, you would start to see them. But for right now, as I said, most of those things are gonna be going deeper in the soil to hibernate. But yeah, if you never done this before, start doing it. Start saving yourself the extra worry about nutrients in your soil in growing season, and stop using fertilizer. And these are great way where you start learning that your garden bed starts showing you great result. Then you automatically drift away from fertilizer if you're using fertilizer, because fertilizer is not safe if it's those store-bought fertilizer. You really want to use organic component, like for example this cardboard. I'm getting rid of the ink so that I can use them in my compost bin. So that's another great thing. That's pure carbon right there, for your compost bin, free. And trust me, it works wonder mixed in with other stuff in your compost, as far as kitchen scrap, grass clippings, you name it. Some people put all different stuff in their compost, egg shash, chicken manure, all the green stuff from your garden, talking about the nitrogen and carbon. So you can do a 30 to 70 ratio. Some people even do a 50-50 ratio, carbon and nitrogen, which is your green and your dry stuff. For example, even folks use coffee. You know that coffee is considered greens, even though it's grown and it's already, you're thinking that will consider your dry, but that's considered your green. Obviously these dry leaves you consider your dry. You put them in your compost. So you have the nitrogen and carbon. But yeah, this is just free fertilizer. And like I said, the importance of it is not to disturb the microbes and the living insect and organism that's in the soil. You leave them at bay and you leave the soil to rest, you leave the soil to sleep, as it is doing right now. And it's a win-win, leaving back these extra stem in the soil, extra plant matter, as it's gonna become great fertilizer to your soil, and feed the microbes into your soil. Feed them worm that give you that healthy worm casting down in the soil, and they all getting benefit from this process. Yeah, not gonna make this one too long. I'm gonna finish that little small piece there when I get this video ended. But yeah, don't be raking up your extra leaves. Don't be pulling up your plant from your garden bed. Leave it. Even if it's imagine even soft a vegetable. This is not even soft. This is some of the tough as far as stem that you can get to leave, and I'm still leaving them back. So the sky is the limit as far as what much you can leave back in your in the soil. Obviously, you don't have an idea if it's something that would decompose quick enough back into the soil, and you don't have to worry about digging through all the extra stuff. Like I expressed that this, if I have done it say fall, come here, we wouldn't be seeing this. This would already decompose mostly into the soil already. But I have confidence that by the end of the season, by 3 months, it's probably would take before you can plant anything. Probably even longer. We're in January, February, March, April. May is typically a good time we start planting most things around here. Some things like the cola vegetable you can plant earlier, like spinach, turnip, and all those beets, all those early, you can get away with planting like broccoli, broccoli like coal, heat. But then if you start getting to early summer with all that heat, it may kill off those broccoli or turn them into where you see the flower and your broccoli, the ball itself is just start to frazzle out and turn into more of flower like instead of that cabbage or the broccoli. I don't even know what you call that, but the whole food that you eat anyway. So the ball of it. But yeah, I'm gonna use these to compost. Look at my beautiful view, guys. Yeah. Can't go wrong, it's an inspiration. But yeah, I've done this other part and I finished the rest. Alright, one. Peace to everyone. Love to the people of the world. Put this thing in my tripod. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this one here. A peace to the people. And like I said, if you never do this process, I need to cut back this rows. You know, it's kind of a bit too much right here. So every season, typically, I cut it back and it grows this much. You know, so I need to cut it back again. That's what that is, folks. So rose bush, which it's really it's not my favorite here. You know, I cut it so it stay low. It doesn't shadow too much of my stuff that I grow in this garden bed. And it's for a reason why I keep callaloo right here anyway. It's just right to the corner of the house right there. So, and I used to grow from tomato, switch straw, so much. I've grown this whole thing full of vegetable before. But anyway, I'm gonna continue cutting off my plant and leaving my root ball down into the soil. And like I said, if you haven't been practicing this habit and this whole process, start doing it and you will see great result. And stop disturbing the soil when it's sleeping. And for the ones that break the lawn, you know, this is like I said, you literally can leave the extra leaf in the lawn. It will decompose in no time and it's great for the soil and save a lot of living things, and you know they can hide underneath that extra stuff in the winter. And you know it's a win-win for everybody. So follow this procedure, follow the process, and you'll see result. And feed them soil back the microbes, feed the soil back that healthy nutrients that coming back from those vegetables that's gonna decompose back in the soil. Feed all those worms, get extra worm casting. Everybody win, everybody stay healthy, and everybody ready to do their job on the next growing season. You know, the soil will be happy, the living microbes will be happy, the living insects and living organism that's in the soil will be happy. And yeah, so if you like this video, remember to subscribe to my channel, support the journey, and follow, you know, share your thoughts, and stay tuned. See you on the next one. Alright, my people, blessed love. Peace.